Have you noticed what's happening in Johannesburg lately? Something is changing, and it's happening fast. Streets that were once crowded with people going about their daily lives are now filled with police patrols, identity checks, and growing uncertainty. For many Zimbabweans living and working in South Africa's largest city, the atmosphere has become tense. Some are packing their bags, others are staying indoors, and many are asking the same question: is it still safe to remain in Johannesburg? Stay with us until the end, because this story is about much more than a protest. It is about fear, uncertainty, and the difficult choices thousands of people may now have to make. For days, Johannesburg has been at the center of growing attention following anti-foreigner demonstrations that have renewed debate over immigration, jobs, and law enforcement in South Africa. As police increased patrols in several areas and carried out operations targeting undocumented migrants and suspected criminal activity, many foreign nationals began paying close attention to every new development. Among those watching most closely are Zimbabweans, one of the largest migrant communities living in South Africa. Many crossed the border years ago in search of employment, business opportunities, and a better future for their families. Some have built successful lives, while others continue working hard in factories, construction sites, restaurants, farms, and small businesses. But now, many say the situation has become increasingly uncertain. As reports of increased police patrols spread across Johannesburg, stories quickly began circulating through WhatsApp groups, community meetings, and social media. Friends warned each other about police roadblocks. Families shared information about areas where immigration checks were taking place. Employers and workers discussed whether it was safer to travel or remain at home. For some Zimbabweans, the decision became simple. Rather than wait and see what might happen next, they began preparing to leave Johannesburg and return home, at least temporarily. Bus stations started seeing more people carrying luggage. Some hoped to cross back into Zimbabwe before the situation became more complicated. Others simply wanted to avoid becoming caught up in an environment they felt was becoming increasingly unpredictable. If you are enjoying this report and want balanced coverage of the biggest stories affecting Zimbabwe and Southern Africa, take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications. We bring you the facts, the context, and the stories that matter most across the region. The increased police presence has become one of the biggest talking points. Authorities have said that law enforcement operations are intended to uphold the law, address crime, and verify immigration status where necessary. Police patrols have become more visible in several parts of Johannesburg, with officers carrying out checks during routine operations. At the same time, anti-foreigner demonstrations have added another layer of tension. Protesters argue that undocumented immigration places pressure on public services, employment opportunities, and community safety. They have called for stronger enforcement of immigration laws and action against illegal activities. However, not everyone agrees with that approach. Community leaders, human rights advocates, and many residents have urged people to avoid blaming entire nationalities for broader social and economic problems. They warn that fear and misinformation can increase tensions and place innocent people at risk. For Zimbabweans living in Johannesburg, these debates are not simply political discussions. They affect everyday life. Parents worry about traveling to work. Business owners worry about losing customers. Workers wonder whether they will be stopped on their way home. Even those with valid documentation say the atmosphere of uncertainty has created anxiety throughout their communities. Some Zimbabweans, interviewed by local media, have described making emergency plans with relatives. Others have reportedly chosen to postpone unnecessary travel until the situation becomes clearer. Families remain in constant contact, sharing updates and checking on one another throughout the day. Meanwhile, transport operators traveling between South Africa and Zimbabwe have also noticed increased interest from people considering returning home. For some, the move is temporary while they wait to see whether tensions ease. Others are uncertain whether they will return to South Africa at all. The situation has also sparked conversations inside Zimbabwe itself. Families receiving returning relatives are preparing to welcome loved ones back, even if only for a short period. Many understand that migration has never been an easy decision. People live seeking opportunity, but they often remain deeply connected to home. When circumstances change, returning becomes both an emotional and practical decision. Political observers say the developments highlight the complex relationship between migration, employment, and public policy in Southern Africa. South Africa has long attracted workers from neighboring countries, including Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Lesotho, and Malawi. Many migrants contribute to industries that depend on their labor, while also sending money home to support families. At the same time, concerns about unemployment and crime continue to fuel difficult public debates over immigration. That is why the current situation has drawn so much attention. It is not only about police operations or demonstrations, it is also about the lives of ordinary people trying to earn an honest living while navigating an increasingly tense environment. Across social media, opinions remain divided. Some South Africans support stronger immigration enforcement, arguing that existing laws should be applied consistently. Others stress that lawful enforcement must always respect human rights and avoid targeting people unfairly because of their nationality. Zimbabweans following these discussions say they simply hope for peace, fairness, and stability. As police operations continue, many residents are watching closely to see how events unfold over the coming days. Businesses are monitoring customer activity. Community organizations are encouraging calm. Religious leaders are calling for unity and peaceful coexistence. Families continue making decisions based on the latest information available to them. For Zimbabweans who have already left Johannesburg, the journey home brings mixed emotions. Some feel relieved to be away from uncertainty. Others are disappointed because they are leaving behind jobs, businesses, and communities they worked hard to build. Returning home may provide safety and comfort, but it also raises questions about employment, income, and what comes next. Those who remain in Johannesburg continue balancing. Many are waiting to see whether tensions will ease, whether demonstrations will subside, and whether daily life will return to normal. Until then, uncertainty remains a constant part of everyday life. One thing is certain. The developments in Johannesburg are being watched not only across South Africa but throughout the region. Governments, communities, and families all understand that migration is deeply connected to livelihoods, economic opportunity, and regional cooperation. What happens in the coming days could influence thousands of lives on both sides of the border. For now, Zimbabweans in Johannesburg face difficult choices. Stay and hope conditions improve, or leave and begin another uncertain chapter back home. Neither decision is easy, and every family must weigh its own circumstances carefully. As police patrols continue, and the debate over immigration remains firmly in the national spotlight, one question continues to echo across Johannesburg and beyond. Will tensions begin to ease, allowing communities to move forward together, or is this only the beginning of another challenging chapter for thousands of Zimbabweans living in South Africa? Only time will tell.